It was 10 years ago on a night just like this when episode 5 of Survivor San Juan Del Sur aired, and it sounded just like this.
A lot of shocked faces, some emotion. Alec, let's start with you. Your bro's gone.
Where's the bedside manner, Jeff?
Wow. Was that what it was like when I dipped after Island of the Idols? Were you like, my bro's gone?
Yeah, Rob, let's start with you. Your bro is gone.
Your bro's gone mental. Oh, my God.
But he's back. Josh Wigler.
Wow. Oh, my gosh. How to follow a ballad like Drew?
I just audibly laughed this morning. Alec, your bro's gone.
Your bro's gone. Unbelievable. I love Jeff's San Juan Del Sur energy. I had a thought about this today watching the episode as well. I really think from my experiences with Jeff, and I think that anyone who watches the show and knows like Jeff's proclivities would attest to this. Like, he loves it when you're like really psyched about hashing it out, that you're here for the hardship, that you're here to push yourself all the way along.
Yeah.
And these Hunapus, these stupid Hunapus,
right,
keep asking for the moon. If they had, there's no world where these guys were getting 18 chicken eggs. Like, that was never happening to these people.
You know, I think that really, if we were going to define Jeff Probst, I think that perhaps the best scale to assign Jeff to might be the scale of the tongue. And I feel like that there is a taste bud. Yes. A taste bud matrix. Term? Well, it is now because I think that we get spicy Jeff. We get sweet Jeff at times. But I think here in San Juan Del Sur, I feel like that we have salty Jeff.
So I just Googled the scale of the tongue. You can get a tongue weight scale from Amazon, which I guess is
tongue weight scale.
Yeah, there's like this it's like this little like tongue looking thing.
Tongue weight scale.
Put your tongue on to weigh it. I don't think that there's a really good way to do that. But yeah,
the scales be tipping.
The scales be tipping. They be tipping.
The scales be tonguing.
The scales of the tongue be tipping.
But I think you can get bitter, Jeff.
Yes. My favorite is umami, Jeff.
How has there not been a tribe name, umami?
It's common. It's common. Missy is umami.
She's not a girl. She's umami.
And Baylor is her daughter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. 10 years ago tonight, Kelly Wentworth ends up being voted out of Survivor. Boom. Here on, if you're just joining us, every week we've been celebrating 10 years of San Juan Del Sur. As it is synced up in the same calendar week, we get episode 5 of Survivor 47 and episode 5 of San Juan Del Sur. And 10 years ago on this very day, October 22nd, 2014, was when episode 5 aired, and we saw Kelly Wentworth voted out of, and we said, all right, well, we'll probably never see her again.
And that's that.
That's that. She seemed nice.
Yeah, that was cool. Man, she probably
definitely not a Survivor legend. Got voted out tonight.
Yeah, it was like, oh well, didn't we just last week go over that? Like, she was the deadliest player in the game, and like, okay, she's 5th boot. Okay, seemed great. Seemed like she would have played well without her dad around. Yeah. But yes, I don't think anyone is sparing much thought with respect to the incredible Kelly Wentworth when she goes. But then she becomes like a fixture of the Survivor internet and a great friend to RHAP. And I wonder if you have memories of like your exit interview with Kelly Wentworth, like your initial, your very first ever conversation with Kelly.
No, you know what? I honestly don't recall too much from it, and I do have some notes back from the
Or San Juan Del Surrogate?
the San Juan Del Surrogates, both from Danielle Mathis and also from Josh Green, who went
Nice.
back and did some incredible work listening to the old podcast. But no, I'm not seeing anything that's particularly notable from my conversation with Kelly.
She would go on to become Miss Survivor, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, hold on. I wasn't ready for a quiz.
I believe that's correct.
What I believe, I think Natalie won it.
Oh, but she was like a real
campaigner. Yes.
She campaigned hard, and she like came onto RHAP in like a major way. And I don't know how much of this is what ends up like. I don't know, Rob. Like, I'm so glad that somebody sees something behind the curtain that we don't really get to see on screen, because if it's going based purely off of TV, like, I don't think that like there's any really reasonable thought that Kelly is going to make it onto the second chance ballot to begin with, let alone secure a spot, let alone become the fallen angel of Survivor Second Chance and go on to be one of the most cited survivors I want to play like of the 30s, certainly. And I don't know what it looks like in the profiles of the new era, but I wouldn't be surprised to see she still comes up.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, Kelly has, I mean, you could do a whole podcast about everything that's going on with Kelly and her rise to power and how she, she campaigned for Miss Survivor. And I think that, like, I would say probably more than anything, she sort of like built an email list of people. Like, it just so happened to be a good scenario for there to be a vote coming right after that.
Yes. She definitely like coalesced a base. Something happens that is got very little to do with the show and a lot to do with, I think that Kelly, I know we're starting at the end here, but like, I think like the show doesn't give you a ton of Kelly content, even in her final episode. And I think that's part of this point, that I feel like with Kelly specifically, she kind of becomes a really good example. Since the podcast is really lit at this moment in time, we've got exit interviews, we've got like spots for, we've got spots to like have people come on for voicemails, for recaps, for all of this. Like Wentworth, I think, becomes like a great ambassador of like, well, why didn't they show me more of this person on the show? And so like, I think like becomes like a bit of like a Survivor internet darling through that.
Yeah. Also, like, I mean, through her own social media, not just only through the podcast, she built a following coming off of this. And so I think that, and Kelly's to this day, she's all over TikTok and is like very, very good with interacting with the fans. So I think that she was just like cutting her teeth at this point. And this was like a good season for her to be able to have commentary on it. And it just was very fortuitous that the fan vote is coming up. So this is this is October of 2014, and they're going to start figuring out that fan vote in the spring of 2015.
And so it's this,
and all the Miss Survivor stuff was in like February of 2015.
Yeah, she ends up having like a really like significant tail on the other side of getting knocked out here. So it's a largely happy ending for not just Kelly, but all of us, because of everything that she ends up bringing to the table. And I think like the trajectory of San Juan del Sur itself, I think with, again, great respect to Kelly, basically like it's fine. We lose Kelly now, we'll lose Dale next week, and that will be even more eventful. But like we're just like gonna take a couple final shots at like, what does Dale call Missy in this episode? Do you have that?
Oh, I have it quoted. I didn't pull the quote, but Dale.
What does he say?
What he says
this is Dale's quote, not Rob.
He says yes. Dale says, "She's a self-centered, bossy bitch."
Wow. So we clean that attitude right up after next episode. Get that right out of there. Dale Wentworth.
Yeah.
Fun episode. Another way the synchronicity between the decades, these two seasons across the decades. We get a tribe swap in this one.
Yeah.
We have like a brief tribe flirtation.
A tribe flirtation. What's that?
It's like the Survivor Social, where they go to the sanctuary where good things happen.
Wait, that's Survivor 47.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Is like across these two episodes that they synced up decently well. I thought.
Yes. Okay. So this is the first time we have the tribes interacting in a certain way.
Yeah. And then we also are going to have in this week's episode of Survivor 47 the successful attempt of getting the eggs. Here we are going to have the to be determined attempt at getting more rice.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also think that Kelly and Annika's hair looks very similar. As they both get voted out. They both have sort of the buff around and then just like the long hair coming down. I don't know. Maybe reaching a little bit on this one. Some of our other episodes have synced up a little bit better than this one.
Okay. We'll talk about the San Juan Del Sur. Any other thoughts on Survivor 47?
Not at this present time.
Okay.
How was the thing though? How was the stuff?
It was great. It was great.
We did the show.
Yeah, I don't think we had any San Juan Del Sur alumni in the building, unfortunately for us. But very lively crowd and very fun show. If you didn't get a chance to watch it, check it out. We had a really, I think our most ambitious video recording yet. Multiple
produced.
Cameras. So big shout out to Giovanni that did our video for the live show. Let's talk a little bit about.
Can I just also say quickly, not your last live show of not just the year, Rob, but the month. Got another little live show coming up. We
got another big live show coming up in 2014 was such a important pivotal year. And of course, we're talking about San Juan Del Sur now, but also Survivor Cagayan. And we could have just as easily, if we thought of this idea, done a podcast every single week to match up with the Survivor Cagayan episode. Yeah. Instead,
can we do that next season instead of Worlds Apart? Can we just
it might be funny to do Worlds Apart.
Worlds Apart could be funny, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So what we have been working on all year long, this idea started out as I was like, oh, could we do like an oral history of Survivor Cagayan? And then I started to get some reach outs from different people. And so I ended up working with the team of Dr. Amanda Rabinowitz, Matt Scott, and Lindsay Wilson. And we have brought you I Stan Cagayan.
Look at
and this is in the style of I Love the 90s. We have done a series of interviews with Survivor Cagayan cast members, podcasters, Survivor alumni from other seasons.
Yes.
Worth playing for?
I think worth playing for a feature-length Cagayan documentary / retrospective. Really, really, really super fun. If you were a Cagayan fan, which I imagine you were if you're listening to this podcast specifically, this is can't miss stuff. Really, really fun.
My stuff.
Some great interviews with a lot of people who we haven't heard from in a minute. Really loved this, and we're going to be showing it in Philadelphia next week at a live show.
For you all out there in the world, you can watch this 1 week from tonight. We're going to be premiering this on YouTube October 29th, but we're going to have a very special screening, little opportunity to get out there and meet the community. And we're going to be in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the night of October 28th. Got a very special night planned. If you can be there with us in person, I'll be there. Josh will be there.
I'm coming.
Rob has a website.com/Cagayan screening. We'll have some Q&A. And it's going to be a very, very fun night. We'll screen the movie, a movie theater, movie snacks, after party to follow. And so it should be a very, very fun night.
Are available?
I think it's just like the classic movie snacks. What would you get?
Probably going to have to... I'm probably going to have to roll with some Sour Patch watermelons in here, I think.
Wow.
If they got them. I'll do anything sour. I'll get some sour.
Anything sour?
Just about. Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
Okay. All right. Sour
Warhead?
is also on the tip of the scale of the tongues.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And according to Sam Moore, we're going to have a Survivor special popcorn and soda deal.
Wow.
They had popcorn and soda on Survivor 46.
That's true.
They
I
did have soda this week on Survivor 47.
I can promise you this, folks. You come to the Survivor Cagayan screening, or you watch it when we do its world premiere on YouTube on Tuesday night next week. You will have a better time at this Survivor movie than Sophie Clark did with her Survivor movie experience in Survivor South Pacific.
For sure.
Promise you that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
No doubt. Okay. All right. So let's talk about this episode of Survivor San Juan Del Sur. And of course, that we saw the Drew Christie boot was in the last episode. Keith Nail says it was a gnarly tribal council.
Gnarly. Yeah. Was it gnarly, you think?
Well, they did the whole thing with Jeremy about the sub-alliance.
Yeah. I would say gnarly, but like if it's sort of like gnarly, bro, like I don't think it was that.
Yeah, he uses gnarly as a negative.
Yeah, as a bad gnarly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, naughty gnarly. And then John Mish is like, I'm in trubs.
Yeah.
And he's trying to just like
he's like, oh, Drew said if it he said you're either with me or against me, and then he voted, and then he said that I had to vote with him.
Yeah, he said count on it, and like he like to be very fair to John Mish, he like completely replicates how that conversation went. So like John Mish in this moment being a very honest guy, I think of like, yeah, like
I think he is a pretty honest guy. Like I don't think that he's like a dishonest player.
You know what? I love this season. I really do. Like I adore this season, and like for all of the obvious San Juan Del Sur reasons that when you haven't watched it in a while, you think about Keith and Natalie and Jeremy and stuff. But like all of the people who like either haven't gone on to come back or we haven't heard from in a long time, like everybody contributes to making this a really good vibes season of Survivor. I think put John Mish right on that list. I love John Mish's energy. John Mish's energy is a great component here in San Juan Del Sur, and I think his story seems to really activate in this episode. He's going to be with us for a bit, driving a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Tries to tell Jeremy, he's like, hey, about that.
Yeah, and Jeremy's like, oh my God.
I don't need you.
Yeah. He's like, John, he's on an apology tour.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not falling for it.
Yeah. He's exactly where he wants to be, Jeremy. Don't you love those confessionals when they show up and it's like, they have to know, like, Switch is coming tomorrow, right? You know,
Mm-hmm.
like, I just like, do you ever think that the people who give like the real, like, hubris confessionals, like the hubris laden confessionals, know that they're giving a hubris laden confessional?
Yeah, I kind of feel like that you don't do that because it's like you're only going to show this if it doesn't work. Like I feel like it's, like I'm sure like a lot of people have said things that are like that and then it works out and they just don't show it because it's like
how does that work? Like, what does the producer say to you? Like, all right, now can you give me a version of that that's extremely egotistical, just in case like this isn't going to work out for you, so we can ruin you on TV?
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Jeremy's just it's the middle of the night, drunk with power. Drew Christie is gone, and everybody can finally sleep.
Yep. All right, let's go to Hero Arena. And so they call it the Walk of Shame, Koyopa. We haven't heard about the Walk of Shame, I think, probably since a different blonde Kelly back in Survivor Africa had the Walk of Shame or the Shameless T-shirt after they talked about. Lex said she did the Walk of Shame when she got voted out. So, but the Walk of Shame here is that, okay, let's bring in the tribe that voted somebody out last night.
Yeah. So Alec gives like a confessional leading into this too, where like this is another one where like was this days ago, or the producers being like, so Alec, when you get there later today, you want to go up against Drew? Are they just like priming the pump, getting him ready for like a little bit of a...
He's ready. He hasn't had the chance, and Drew's hit him upside the head a couple of times, and so he's ready.
He's ready to go, but then he doesn't see him, and he realizes he's been voted out. And Alec, Jeff Probst has some words for you.
Yeah. I mean, he's very upset when to hear this.
A lot of shocked faces, some emotion. Alec, let's start with you. Your bro's gone.
Your bro's gone. And he's like, whoa. And, you know, and
Bro,
there's
I know.
a lot of shocked faces from Coyopa. And they're like, yeah, we thought he was good. We thought he was, and like Kelly Wentworth was like,
Yeah.
no.
But yeah, a little bit of the hubris from Wentworth in this episode.
But Alec's world is shattered here because he's like, well, they must have voted him out because he must have been such a big threat. I mean, there's no other reason why they would vote him out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like the guy that you have on the ultimate pedestal of being the ultimate competitor that you're gonna knock off his knock from his pedestal one day, like actually was like kind of a. Let's see. Can I maybe in 2024 I'll pick my words carefully.
Okay, sure.
Kind of a knucklehead,
Let's call him a knucklehead. Yeah, I
or
think that's
even a
fine.
chucklehead.
He's a chucklehead too.
Yeah.
No chuckles
And this was
for me
the guy
at the theater, by the
that
way.
is like the pantheon of manliness that
This is your
you could
king.
never knock. This is your king.
Yeah.
This is who you lay with.
Yeah.
You know. And to find out that. Wait, he wasn't a huge threat to you guys?
Yeah.
You voted him off because he threw the
feels like
challenge and
Alec is like Queen Amidala, and the entire Hunapu tribe is Anakin in that meme of like, you voted Drew out because he was the biggest threat on your tribe, right? And then we just like cut to don't know about that.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
sand is coarse. I don't like
Yeah,
it.
yeah. So this is the first time that we're not going to do a heroes challenge because we're gonna shake it up.
Yeah, but they have one set up.
They do have one set up. Is that the same thing that ends up getting done in the next episode?
I don't know.
It's like a little sneak peek.
A little sneak peek. Okay.
Does that only get set up? Like, do like Kierhofer and the rest of the team, do they have to like come up with like a dummy challenge to like create the visual that's going to throw everybody off when Jeff says drop your buffs? So
Sometimes I think they'll have like some
buff?
like just random junk like set up for the tribe swap, and then it doesn't end up being relevant. But well, let's keep an eye on that in
Can
episode
I ask,
6. Yeah.
Because so I've since caught up. Obviously, I've seen everything from the new era, but I watch it so fast that like it all blurs together for me, and I've lost details already weeks out from having watched it. So you, who's been in the trenches week in and week out for years now, when was our last tribe swap?
Survivor 45.
Okay, and before that,
That's the only real one of the new era. In Survivor 44, they sent like Carson and Josh Wilder, not Josh Wigler. That there and
Oh, sure,
Jamie.
that
I really wouldn't count that as a tribe swap. Survivor 45 had a legit tribe swap.
Yeah. I miss this. I love the tribe swap. Tribe swap's great.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, I liked the Survivor social. That was cute.
I believe actually Survivor 45 Survivor 45 and Survivor 35, I believe, is the only 2 times that they ever did a tribe swap that was 3 tribes swapping to 3 different tribes. Like mixed it up. They didn't go from 3 to 2. Every 10 seasons, they said, we're going to do that.
Okay. Keep an eye out for 55.
Keep an eye out for 55. All right. So, all right, your bro's gone. We got new tribes. Here we go. And it's interesting, this tribe swap, because we end up with a tribe of all couples, of all pairs, the new Hunapu.
A tribe of au pairs? So it's like
pairs,
all the loved ones babysitters?
I mean, I don't know if anybody's a baby. Maybe Missy, I mean, she's there with her kids, so she doesn't need an au pair.
And she's kind of au pairing Baylor.
The parents are there with their kids.
Yeah.
So Dale and Kelly are there. Missy and Baylor are there. John and Jacqueline are there. They actually need an au pair because 10 years later, John and Jacqueline are parents.
Hey, congratulations.
Au pair.
That's awesome.
They're now parents too.
Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing.
Okay.
When's the last we've heard from John and Jacqueline?
Not often. I just looked up Jacqueline's Instagram and I saw that they have a baby that's looks like about 2 years old.
Let's get John and Jacqueline on the pod. Can we get John and Jacqueline on the pod?
Yes.
I'd love to hear from them.
Yeah.
That's so great. I love that. I know we're several episodes away from like kind of illuminating like their struggles with all of that. But I'm so happy for them. That's so great. I didn't know that.
And then Keith Nail, who's another parent on the season, he is separated from Wes. So it's the three pairs, and then Keith, and then over on Hunapu, we have Jeremy and Natalie are together, but they're in along with Josh and Reed reunited.
Yep.
And then also Alec, Julie, and Wes.
So it's the singles plus one couple, then the couples plus one single. And this ends up being, I think, like, you know, it likely would have like drifted towards some version of the merge that we get anyway, I would expect. But I think that this is like a real accelerant. Like at this point, like it's an interesting episode because up to this point, you got the sense that like Kelly and Missy were, you know, they were on the same page with the last vote, all of this stuff. But like this swap, I do think like really seems to kill those original tribal dynamics.
Old Hunapu is DOA once we end up with some of the issues that are going on at Coyopa.
Yeah.
And it's a, you know, particularly bad swap for Kelly. We'll talk that through. So we see first, though, at Hunapu that there is this, you know, underlying story of, we find out here in episode 5 that the Hunapu tribe just went ham on the rice through the first, like, whatever 12 days of the game. They ate so much rice. They went crazy. They just had huge portions, all you can eat. It's like the Olive Garden. It was never-ending rice bowls at Hunapu.
Yeah.
Coyopa really tried to ration the rice.
These idiots, these morons. But who am I talking about? The ones that conserved the rice, or the ones who ate all the rice?
I think the morons are the ones that conserved it.
This was such a hot topic at the time, I remember. And like sort of this idea of like, well, what do? Did Hunapa just prove just go to Rice Town? Just like dump the rice Jatia style, except into your mouth? Like, is this the move? Is this what you should do? Now this isn't even really a question because we're not getting like starting food to.
Well, I think that the players all sort of like figured out, they adopted the Hunapu strategy of like, hey, smoke them if you got them. You got rice, eat it.
Yeah.
If you got chickens, eat them too.
Yeah. Unless you're very concerned about the mechanics of butchering the chicken and like having blood all over your hands and all of the stuff that Annika got into with you. So, you know, maybe in that case.
I didn't even know you listened to those exit interviews.
I watched the video. I had a good time watching.
Yeah.
I'm
Did you
to
notice
support
me
my best friend
in my brother's bedroom?
Yeah, I thought that that was Danny's room.
My brother's childhood bedroom.
He had a good room.
I was gonna blur the background. I said, you know what? Let's.
No, it looked good.
Yeah,
it looked podcast ready.
Nothing
his
like
room.
too embarrassing or humiliating on the wall.
Well, we'll certainly go back and look now and double check that.
Yeah.
What was your childhood bedroom like? Has that appeared on podcasts before?
Well,
or
my
you
childhood.
protect that room.
My childhood bedroom. I do not have access to because that my parents moved when I was in. So my parents moved when I was going to be in I was like 13, 14 years old, and so. And then I had a couple different rooms at my parents' house.
Got it. So you were nomadic. You were like you were getting tribe swapped. You were getting room.
I got
swapped.
tribe swapped.
You had no room loyalty. You were a free agent come the room merge.
Yep. So unfortunately, we no longer own the house of my childhood bedroom.
That's all right.
It's okay.
This is the same story many of us have.
But let's talk about the rice, okay?
Yeah.
So they
Turned
were
out to be rice.
Turned out to be rice. They were eating all the rice, and now we find out that Coyopa was really rationing it. So when Jeremy, when like the rest of the people from Jeremy was there at Hunapu, but when the likes of like Josh and Alec and Wes show up, like, hey, where's all the rice?
Where's the rice?
Where's all the rice? Like, we ate it all.
We ate the whole thing. Every last grain.
They have like 2 coconut shells left. of rice.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of a disappointment there. Meanwhile, we get over on Coyopa. John is like, we have rice. He's like jumping up and down. He's excited. This is the best day of John's life.
Yeah, because he
prior
just gets to keep eating.
Having a baby. Yes.
Do you think that this helps with, John's going to make it? He ends up having, he benefits quite well, of course, from this swap. He's going to be with Jacqueline again. He's gonna last real deep into the game.
He was on the bottom. He went from he went to the tribe.
He's the great beneficiary
with his
of
girlfriend,
swap.
with all the rice.
Yes. This is a game changer for John Mish. My question is because he was just plowing rice back at Hunapu, and now here he is at Coyopa, just being able to fiend on this stuff, just house it. Is he just the most fueled survivor player there's ever been at this stage of the game?
Could be.
That I have.
Yeah, he's shot out of a cannon.
I don't know how you measure this, but who on Survivor through the 5th vote ate better without major rewards than John Mish? That's my question.
That'd be a tough question to answer. You have to go back through the annals. But I don't really even blame John Mish, though. I feel like that Missy is kind of just has stepped out of a Totino's Pizza Rolls commercial. Who are my hungry guys?
Whoa.
Who are my hungry guys?
Rice in the morning.
Who wants more rice?
Rice in the evening. Yeah. It's not delivery. It's the rice. She's just making it. She makes healthy servings. I feel I'd be psyched to if you went over to now this is another question of the Survivor San Juan Del Sur cast members, certainly whose house would you want to go over for a meal? And Missy might be really high on that list because the portions are.
You're gonna get a big portion. You're gonna get a big portion at Missy.
Yeah.
So we'll get there. We talk a little bit more about the rice later.
Dale is pissed off.
Yeah, that Missy and Dale is gonna heat up like the rice in a little bit.
Yeah.
But all right, so that John and Jacqueline, they're back together, and Baylor is watching on about this couple. She says, "Hey, look, there's." Look, why can't I find my John? I'm single. My mom is single.
Yeah. Just to call it back, we're live, of course, on YouTube. A Star Wars dude in the chat says the Moto tribe on Fiji was pretty well fed. I would qualify that, though, as a reward beneficiary, right? I think that's they had
the French press.
Yeah, they benefited from a major, the central twist of that season. I'm saying, with nothing but just what the Survivor gods gave you.
Mm-hmm.
Big bag of rice. John Mish, most well fed.
Josh, over on Hunapu, that we see Jeremy and Natalie talking, and they're talking a little bit about Alec. Alec is a little high on the hog now. He's really starting to contextualize. Yeah, his bro is gone, but he's like, hey, I beat my bro.
Yeah,
I guess I'm the best. I guess I outlasted Drew, and he was the best. So what does that make me?
Yeah, I do feel sort of the Survivor soul of Drew Christie just escaped a gasp from his mouth as his torch was snuffed, and it soared through the night and hovered over to Coyopa camp. And as Alec Christie was sleeping,
with his mouth open,
he just inhaled it just got taken over, what happens to you when you commune with Casey Kasem.
Yeah.
And yes, the hot fire consumes Alec. And so Alec now gets to be the ambassador of the Drew Christie energy.
Yeah.
And so now Alec Christie's awake.
Natalie is
that's a great version of the character.
Alec, he's not that different from his brother. He's exactly the same. And Jeremy and Natalie are commiserating about this, but they're we need him.
Yeah.
We need him because the singles, we are going to need to band together. And this was certainly a big deal in the original Survivor Blood versus Water. And so Jeremy and Natalie are feeling okay, we need to pull Alec over to our side because if he goes with Reed and Josh, that's going to be bad news for us. And Jeremy has an iconic plan of how they're going to do this.
As a firefighter, we have this thing called surround and drown. So surround and drown is if you're fighting fire on a building and it gets out of control and you can't even go inside anymore, Everybody stay outside with their hoses, surround it, and drown it. That's what we need to do. We need to just drown him with the water of the singles, you know?
It's interesting. Like, all right, we need that guy on our side. Let's drown him.
Yes. Now, this sounds great. This sounds like a great plan. Surround and drown. I don't know if they really have the firepower to surround him. I feel like it's Jeremy and Natalie and maybe Julie McGee here.
Yeah.
So it's not really going to be so much a surrounding him. The water of the singles.
Look, at the, in the earliest going of their time together as the Ghostbusters, Peter, Ray, and Egon rolled as a triumvirate. They were able to surround and drown Slimer at the hotel ballroom. They were able to surround and drown.
Now, that was a pretty good surround and drown.
They did a good surround and drown on the Scoleri brothers as well, who would be interesting on a Blood versus Water season.
Yeah. So that was a good surround and drown. I don't know if they ever accomplished surrounding and drowning. Alec Christie.
No, they don't. I don't think. What I was trying to figure out was like, is this scene in here for a reason that I don't remember, or is this like just like sort of like?
I think it just sounds good.
Yeah, I think it sounds good. Like the surround. It's funny because like the surround and drown like quote is like really good for Jeremy's winter edit, but not for this season.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
did he surround and drown in Second Chances?
Kind of, right? It seems like
I feel like his strategy was more of like meat shields. So I don't really know if he was like a surround and drown.
No, he
surrounded himself
and drowned himself, like and then rose to the top. So I actually think that he did in many ways. It was like a reverse surround and drown.
Reverse surround and drown.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Surround me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Drown me out.
Let's then switch back over to Coyopa. All right, time to make the rice. Missy's making the rice, and Dale is like giving her the death stare. She's putting it in, and Baylor's like, Mom, it's not enough. And Dale's like, what the hell is she doing? What is this?
Yeah.
She's putting so much rice in the pot.
Lil?
It's like Dale does a lot of muttering.
Yeah. But he has like this sort of
he's muttering about a mother.
Yeah, he's got like some.
What is she doing?
Yeah, she's a self-centered boss bitch. Like that's sort of like Dale, right? It's like she come to my tribe, eat my rice. She's a self-centered bossy bitch. It's like Farm Guy 69 says. You're giving him Lil. When he's like he's like giving a little Hans almost, like
little
like,
Hans. Yeah,
there's like there's like definitely some like.
Well, I think he has two gears.
Yeah,
like I think he has like sort of like what, like he's like in quiet disbelief and then loud disbelief.
Yeah. But he hates us, and Kelly, like what you do get from Kelly in this episode, I feel like is just. Man, I like even today, I'm glad like it works out the way that it ends up working out. Like, and it works out mostly quite well for Kelly Wentworth, I would say, in the long haul. But like, I do like even watching this episode, I just kept wanting her to like go to the rest of the tribe and be like, can we just vote my freaking dad out? Like, can we just do that?
Yeah, because it's kind of like there was an out that they could have just voted out Dale. And it's really kind of surprising that they don't do that.
She could have just paired up with Keith. She could have been like
that'll be next time they play.
Parental relationship with Dale is over. Keith is my new father now.
Yeah, but I just feel like that there's a pre-existing relationship with Missy from the other tribe. Right. She's with another young woman in Jacqueline. It feels like that you could easily see the path that Dale is the outlier, he's the squeaky wheel. They could have easily just voted out Dale on this vote and kept Kelly. And they don't really tell us why, other than that she's a bigger long-term threat.
Yeah.
Potentially, but she's also like an ally. So I don't really know that if you were going to take the shot here and break up Dale and Kelly, like from the perspective of like Missy, like, and maybe there was like some sort of like lasting, did Drew Christie incept the folks over at Hunapu that you had to get rid of Kelly and John was insisting? But I don't think it's really in the episode of why they don't keep Kelly, who seems like that she could work with. Like, where else is she going? She's not like, was she going to flip to go work with, like, with who? Where is she going?
With Jeremy and Natalie potentially. And so
I guess so. But is that like I feel like Missy was aligned with Jeremy and Natalie on the other tribe.
But this is what I'm saying is that I think that this tribe swap lays bare the true dynamics of this game, which is it's the Cups versus the Sings. You know, who's got a loved one still in this game?
But you're breaking them up anyway. So
right. Well, so if you're breaking them up anyway, you are now you are adding a number to the single side, which is not yours if you're Missy and Baylor and John and Jacqueline. So if you're not going to go to tribal council again and just be able to like clip Dale or Keith if you needed to, then at least like the one you've left in the game, should you all get to the merge together, where's Dale going? Like, what's Dale gonna do? Like,
right.
They've
That's
had
fair.
the time to see Kelly and her.
I just would have loved
skills.
to have seen that. I feel like that we don't really get to hear that kind of strategy talk from Missy or John throughout the whole season. So I would
like whether or not it existed on the cutting room floor or not, who can say?
Because we might just be wish casting it on them.
Totally, for sure. Well, this is sort of like you know, some sort of like glitch in the matrix type stuff is happening here with this vote. We can get to it in a bit, but like, you know, the likes of John, Mish, Jacqueline, Missy, and Baylor and Keith are able to snow future Survivor winner, not winner, legend, maybe winner someday, Kelly Wentworth.
I mean, would you say they snowed her? I mean, I just feel like that they didn't go with them.
She's totally taken off guard, it seems. Yeah. Like, you know, like, so
I think that maybe she's off guard. Maybe she thought that like they're going to vote her dad out. Like maybe she thought that, and maybe that's why she doesn't really, you know, go absolutely like, you know, balls to the wall in terms of like trying to defend herself. Maybe she just assumes like, okay, they're going to vote my dad out and then, you know, I'll be able to recover from this.
To apply this as we're like, we're going back, watching this 10 years later in the real time, a new season is airing right now. So just to like map it on to the episode 5 from this past week of 47, I think like Annika struck me as somebody who could have been like really, really good at this game. And like, if they're gonna keep baby Andy and they're gonna vote someone out from the breadwinners, I think Annika is a good person to shoot out of the sky, because she seems like a very savvy person, a very sociable person, a clever person. But what she doesn't have going into this tribal council that Wentworth also doesn't have is like ever having been there before with like their back against the wall. And I think like this is a thing that certainly we talked about a ton on Evolution of Strategy, and you've talked about a ton over the years for returning player seasons. It's that thing of you get voted out, and now you know what that feels like. Now you know what those days feel like. Wentworth just doesn't have that experience right now. She's so young in this. This is like a very like goofball, screwball kind of like knucklehead, chucklehead type of a season anyway. She's probably not overly concerned, but that ends up, of course, being that bites her in the butt.
There's a little bit of acrimony over the fact of that Dale said, or Missy, I'm sorry, Baylor basically tattles that Dale's been trying to get me out the whole time. Like, what? You're being mean to my kid?
Yeah.
Say what?
Yeah.
And then Kelly appropriately points out, like, well, I think that Missy, I think that Baylor tried to vote out Dale first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, well, who cares what order it happened? Like, he's being mean to my kid. I'm the mama bear now.
Should have just voted him out.
It's real.
It's real.
It's happening.
Mama bear.
Mama bear.
Wow. A Papa Bear, Mama Bear alliance could have. I mean, no, it wouldn't really work out the way that I was imagining in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't think
so. So, anyway, we go to the little quick scene before, like a 2-episode arc is coming at Hunapu. Reed is like, oh, let's go kill the vultures and eat them. Alex like, no, they stink.
Yeah,
Trust me, you don't want them.
Don't eat the
The juice isn't worth the squeeze.
Juice isn't worth the squeeze. If you were a meat collector,
Yeah.
would you collect vulture?
No, Drew says, Alex says they stink.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, we go to the
Would you
immunity
eat it?
challenge.
On Survivor?
Would I eat it? I mean, is it edible?
It is a bird.
I would eat it. Like, I would not be above eating the vulture on Survivor. If it could be eaten.
I think you can eat a vulture. I just don't think it's going to taste great. And sounds like you'll have very bad breath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not too worried about that. I think that's sort of par for the course.
Yeah, but like vulture breath on top of already pre-existing Survivor breath.
Mm-hmm.
Woof.
Woof.
But yeah, they're hungry.
And there's a lot of whispering on Survivor.
Yeah, exactly. Like you got like in the new era of like people standing up at tribal council and huddling together and stuff.
Yeah.
Can you imagine like Reed gets into that and then everyone's like,
I just think that you're like, I don't remember
that
ever
vulture?
smelling anybody's breath on Survivor.
yeah, maybe because it was so
You didn't-
traumatic that
you
you
didn't have
erased
to-
it from your memory.
Even like BO, I don't like, I think I only remember like somebody had that like very bad BO.
You want to name names?
Mateo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What did it smell like?
Like very pungent.
Like pungent, like I tend to think that a BO kind of smells like almost universally like a Campbell's chicken noodle soup.
I can see it. There's like like a sharpness to it.
And oddly, even though that is like my fervent lifelong position on BO, I've thought this for my entire life that I can recall, that it smells like Campbell's chicken noodle soup. Still love that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Delicious. Break up some saltine crackers, put it in. Oh.
Well, look, you're making everybody at Hunapu hungry because they really want food.
Yeah.
And so Hunapu, they win the immunity challenge. Kind of a nothing too exciting challenge.
Go
Right?
through
Whatever.
some mud.
They're birthed into the mud.
Shake a thing.
Shake
right?
a thing. You gotta
Shake a
shake
thing.
that thing.
Take that thing. Then throw some sandbags onto another thing. It's a blowout.
Yeah.
Hunapu wins the day.
Yes. And maybe this is a hot take. I don't like Survivors like doing challenges covered in mud. I can't. It's hard to know who's who.
My biggest problem is when they do that like in the first episode.
Yeah.
Which I know is like Jeff loves that right now.
He
but
loves it.
like,
He loves it.
I don't know who that
They get birthed into the
who
mud.
is that?
Right.
I don't know
Yeah.
who they are. I don't particularly. Well, I feel like I feel like when I see them covered in mud, Rob, I feel like I can feel it hardening on my skin, the mud, the dirt that you're caked in, and then I get like sort of like those.
Is it caked?
Like the goose flesh, right? Like those like little like unsettling shivers. Not the vulture flesh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right.
I don't like it either. I think that they should be allowed to shower every night.
Okay. You might be alone with that.
I don't actually really think that.
Yeah. All right. After the challenge, we go back to Hunapu. Or sorry. We don't go back to the Hunapu. Hunapu sticks around, and then
Yarring through the good part.
Yeah. Reed says, Jeff, when you get a sec, we got one more thing to talk to you about.
Hey, Jeff's like, you sons of bitches.
Yeah. All right.
Hey.
All right. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. And they say they have no more rice. Alex says it's Drew who ate all the rice. And they said they want to trade in one of their rewards for the rice, for more rice.
Is it fair to blame all of this on Drew? I don't know. And
Definitely not.
And like, I don't know that you want to play that game with the production that has
the tapes,
much like Brian Gumbel, the tape.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could get Dan Foley. That hasn't happened yet.
Yes, but like I do think what is happening is Probst getting sick of this attitude of this level of chicanery that's not just happening on San Juan del Sur, but yeah, we will see like these like I was edited poorly moments that are going to be coming in the future.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I think like he's already like he seems like he's starting to lose some chill in this
salty
umami.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jeff says, okay, well, so you want more? You ate all the rice. You want more? You're gonna trade the rewards that you won from eating all the rice. He said that there will be like he's like, you know what? I need to think about it. I need to talk to your mother about this.
Mm-hmm.
That I will come to your camp tomorrow. Okay. And there will be a penalty and it will be steep. There is an invoice to pay, he says to them.
Yeah. Upapi has to talk to Umami. And then we'll see what we can pull together. Loved I don't always remember to watch the previews for the next episodes here, but I did today, and I'm just so excited for next week's podcast when Jeff is like, no one has ever needed more help than you guys.
Yep, that's coming next week.
This is embarrassing.
Okay. Meanwhile, back at Coyopa, Kelly is trying to bring in John and Jacqueline. Basically, John and Jacqueline, they are the swing votes that they are trying to decide which way to go. Missy and Baylor, they don't want to work with Dale and Kelly, and Baylor and that John and Jacqueline need to figure out what to do. There's not a real great working history for Kelly and John together.
Right.
Baylor and Jacqueline have never really worked together.
But they were also both just like so on the bottom at this tribe that maybe like there were, they thought that it would be either one of them next, right?
Yep. Interesting. Kelly goes off and Missy's like, she's looking for an idol. I'm like, well, I mean, Missy, have you seen the future?
Mm-hmm.
Like one of the best idol finders there is. Like,
yeah. So yeah, look, their radar is up. The Drew Christie prophecy. He incepted this idea into the culture, into the zeitgeist.
Mm-hmm.
Drew Christie, birthed a legend.
Yep.
And so everyone's
it
like,
was a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah. So everyone's like, oh, she's dangerous.
I guess, was it self-fulfilling prophecy or is Drew Christie an oracle?
We wondered this very question 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I am on the other side of 10 years greater with 2 additional Kelly Wentworth Survivor appearances under our belt. I'm ready to declare it. Drew Christie is an oracle. He's an oracle. He could see the future.
Yeah.
He's like Desmond, except like instead of seeing like what's happening to Charlie, he's seeing what's happening to Wentworth.
Yeah. No, it's hard because I think that you don't want to assign agency to him of Kelly becoming great. I think, but so you have to, in a way, assign him agency that, no, he could see that Kelly was going to be great.
He could see it. He knew.
Yeah. He's not responsible for it, but he did see it.
Yes, correct. I think that's right. So she's allegedly going to find an idol, and like Dale has been like a little bit sus with this stuff, right? Like he's a little bit of a tricky guy, or has he not been tricky yet? I can't.
I don't think he's been that tricky. He did take the thing off the top of the well, but I think he's going to do that next week.
Yeah.
So let's go to tribal council. Keith Nail is like, hey, you could be 6-1 against me tonight.
Is no one entertaining Keith as an option?
No, I don't think so. I think he's well loved by everybody. So there's no really incentive on that. And there's just like some really bad blood brewing between Dale and Missy. And so he says that
she's a stuck-up, bossy bitch. That's what he says.
But here they're really trying to sweet talk John and Jacqueline.
Yeah.
Dale says about John and Jacqueline, he says, hey, they're the hottest couple at camp.
Easy, Tiger.
And Baylor's like, they're the hottest couple anywhere.
Yeah, anywhere.
Everybody's trying to one up how hot John and Jacqueline are.
They are stunning. They're glowing.
Mm-hmm.
And like they're like giving each other little smooches on the beach.
Yeah.
They're glowing.
They're pretty schmoopy that they are back reunited. They will famously have a point when they get into a fight.
Oh, right. Oh, can't
But right
wait for
now,
that. Oh man, love this
yeah,
season. This is
it's pretty
good stuff.
schmoopy.
Yeah, they're
okay?
schmoopy. They're schmoopy. They've just been reunited. I will just an observation I did make. I do want to I don't want to dwell on this. But like they're so schmoopy once they've been reunited. Then over at Hunapu, Reed and Josh are reunited, and when they have to like sit in the bleachers with their new tribe permutations at Hero Arena, they're like not even sitting next to each other. They're like, and they could have if they wanted to.
Yeah.
But they're like diagonally.
Well, they're
across
famously not schmoopy.
Yeah.
They're waiting until marriage.
Yeah, no schmooping. No schmoops.
Yeah. So we get a little bit of the retelling of was Dale going after Baylor? Was Baylor going after Dale? Missy says she's going to protect her kid. Okay. She's that, Kelly talked about like, okay, well, this like animosity between Baylor and Dale. This is like a 50-pound backpack. And Missy's like, add another 50-pound backpack because I'm coming too, because I'm Mama Bear is going to protect her cup.
It's not good.
Kelly's like, ooh.
I think Kelly should have just been like, Dad, bye.
I just wonder if she thought like, okay, they're going to vote my dad out. Like, I don't have to like pull a Sierra. I don't have to vote out my dad. And like, I'll get through this. I don't remember. I have to go back to the exit interview and think about if she had been thinking that they're just going to vote out her dad and then she'll recover.
What lessons, if any, are learned from this tribal council for a potential future blood versus water that still hasn't come to pass? Like, should blood versus water 3, whenever it happens here, at least stateside, should the loved ones come into that like a lot more primed to just like knock each other out?
I don't think you should be primed to knock each other out, but ironically, Kelly and Sierra will get on the same page in Survivor Second Chances.
True,
famously is part of the Witches Coven.
Yeah.
And that I think that Sierra was a little bit more of a pragmatist, I think, than Kelly Wentworth is, of like, okay, I don't want to do this, but it's a means to an end and I'll do it. And I think that Kelly's like a little bit more principled of like, no, I'm not going to vote out my dad because you tell me to. Like, you either vote him out or don't, but you don't need my vote to vote out my dad.
Sierra, though, ice water in the veins.
Yeah.
Bye, Mom. Bye.
Yep. It's a weird vote.
Bye, Mama.
It ends up being 2 votes Kelly, 2 votes Dale, 2 votes Missy, 2 votes is it Missy or Baylor that they voted for? Missy, right?
Baylor.
Okay, 2 votes Baylor, and then a final vote is Kelly, and Kelly, the tribe has spoken. Yeah.
So
but the best is yet to come.
The best is yet to come, and now we know that. That is a major change from our previous analysis of San Juan del Sur, of this episode. We were not yet San Juan del Sur what would happen with Kelly Wentworth in the future.
Yeah.
Hindsight being what it is, knowing that Kelly is going to have a historic run on Second Chance. She's going to go fairly deep in Edge of Extinction as well.
Yeah.
So if she wants to come back someday, I think she'll get the chance. She feels like one of those people who could play a 4th time.
Yeah.
With all of that said, she gets knocked out by Missy, Baylor, John Mish, Jacqueline. These are not necessarily like the Mount Rushmore of strategists, even on San Juan del Sur.
Sure.
So what does that say? Does it say anything? Is Survivor just a little bit? There's just like, sometimes it's just that like
sometimes you get a bad
intangible.
swap. That's
It's an intangible, and you can't really do much about it.
Yeah. Could there be a Kelly Wentworth on Survivor 50?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it totally depends on like what the format ends up being, but she would be on my short list to see her again. Yeah, for sure.
And I'm not talking about literal Kelly Wentworth. Like, could there be somebody who is like kind of like, wait, who?
Oh, I see what you mean. So like someone who didn't make it terribly far in their season, but get tapped to be brought back in to Survivor 50 and then goes on to have like a meteoric rise from From
Honestly, like I feel like Annika could be like somebody who, you know, like didn't maybe light the world on fire in like her time, but like I think that like somebody who like the production believes in.
we're putting this energy out into the world. Let's get Asia back out there, yeah?
Oh, wow.
You know?
Incredible.
Give Asia Welsh Kelly Wentworth upside.
Yeah.
Bring her back.
I mean, to get back into the second show after not doing, going super far in the first show, that's the sweet spot.
I think that might, it is, but it's not the sweet spot to get cast, back.
That's the challenge.
That's the challenge. So, like, you have to, like...
Ideally, you want to be the last person that they cast.
Also, this no longer really applies. This
you
no
don't think
longer.
So?
No, I don't think so, because like now we are in an era where the first returning player season is going to occur. Like the first returning player season since Winners at War is going to occur 10 seasons later. So my who knows what the 50s looks like for this show, but my feeling, like my recommendation to any new era and beyond Survivor player is savor the flavor, enjoy it, have a great time, eat well, eat all the rice early on, because you're not getting another bag most likely. So like I don't think that this works as a strategy anymore to like try and like play for the second game. Christian Hubicki hasn't played twice.
Yeah, I'm not saying play for the second game. I'm just saying it's best to be like one of the last people that they add to the All-Star cast, and then nobody's that worried about you.
Yeah, that tends to work out well.
Yeah. Okay. I want to talk about some of the things that happened on the podcast this past week, 10 years prior.
Please.
And so, I got some good notes from what went down from Josh Green and from Danielle, who sent in some things about this round of podcasts that's happened on the 22nd and the 23rd.
To spoil it, Coach
was on the podcast.
Coach Wade. Coach Wade was on the pod, and if I'm remembering correctly, this isn't the treadmill, but I think he was in a vehicle. Was he in a car?
He was driving.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
10 years later, are we allowed to call that bullshit? Don't do that.
I think that honestly,
Don't
like if somebody did that
podcast from while you're driving,
if somebody called into the podcast and was driving, I think we would celebrate it now a little bit more.
You think so?
I think so.
At the time, I felt very disrespectful. It's like,
what are you gonna do?
You.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let me talk about some things from the know-it-alls. Okay. Stephen Fishback ordered Chinese food.
Oh, right.
Yes.
And he had to go and answer the door at one point. Wasn't? And he
think
like
so.
He was like, okay, just so everyone knows, I have sesame chicken on the way.
Yeah. Stephen, according to Josh Green, was very high on Josh Canfield in his winter edit.
Yes. This I also recall.
He was very high on Josh Canfield, and also thought that Reed was going to be the quitter.
Oh, right, because we know a quit is coming. That's right. I forgot that there was like the super trailer that showed that.
Yeah.
Look at this. At this point, like at this moment that we were watching Survivor without future knowledge of anything, like I think like really even here 5 episodes in, it feels like 2 people can win, and it's like Josh and Jeremy is what it kind of feels like. At this moment. Yeah.
Shaping up a real Profex versus Magneto
Yeah,
situation.
Profex, cool. Yeah.
Yes.
I like that.
Okay. According to Danielle, she says that Steven is all in on Josh and his winter edit, thinks he's the best. Rob is not all in, but mostly because he can't get over him and Reed waiting until marriage. 2014, Rob. That was out of pocket.
Yeah, that sounds like 2014.
Look, love is love. Like let them live, Rob.
Let them live. Let them do what they want.
Okay.
Yes, we are live
All
on
right.
YouTube. Russ W says, "Oh dear."
Also, Danielle mentions, Josh has this too, that speaking of marriage, Steven and Rob won a love story between Missy and Farm Guy 69. and develop a whole movie. It's called Exile Island for them. It ends with Baylor and Kelly sharing a room.
Sounds like a horrible movie.
Mm-hmm.
All the movies we could make. I do not stand this Exile Island movie. We will not be showing this in Philadelphia.
Okay.
Yep.
Also, then Steven referred to Jeremy's "everything going great for me" as pulling a Marty Piombo.
In how does he figure?
Because I think
then
Steven will talk about Marty Piombo a lot from time to time.
Still?
More so in 2014.
Does he still bring up Marty Piombo?
Yeah, I think he did recently.
In what context?
I think saying that he should be on Survivor 50, maybe.
Really?
I think so. Okay.
Listen,
then,
as somebody who has fan cast Marty Piombo to be on returning player seasons in the past,
Mr. Farty,
I do feel like we are Mr. Farty might not be Mr. 50.
Yeah. Yeah. What's his name again? Mr. What?
Mr. Fart. Oh yeah, Mr. Fart.
Yeah. So
Fart.
Josh went through and listened to the interview with Coach. That he was very Coach. He was driving in his car the whole call, and that Rob asked Coach what he thought about the season in the beginning, and he immediately goes, "Boring." Oh. Yes, but he compares it to taking a coaching job right after somebody won the national championship, because where would you go from there? And he said that Blood versus Water in Cagayan was a real high point.
So just like tough act to follow is sort of his
tough
his
act
thing.
to follow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, look, I can understand that in the real time. Like this season is weird. This season does not feel like those two seasons that you just
yes. And I think that last week was the know-it-alls. Yeah. So there's a lot of muffin talk.
Who's Muffin?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. From Steven had some kind of a slip up called.
What does Muffin think though?
Who's Muffin? Who's Muffin? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Why did he think her name was? Did we ever find out why he thought her name was Muffin?
I think it's nebulous.
Nebulous, even a decade later.
Yep.
Wow. Some mysteries, right?
Some mysteries.
Let the mystery be.
All right. Josh, what else?
Gosh, we're getting pretty close.
Also, and then Mike Bloom made his first voicemails appearance, I believe.
Hey! This is Mike's voicemails debut?
Mike's voicemails debut, although Josh says that Mike sounded a lot less energetic than he sounds these days, but we had great chemistry.
Okay. He was probably nervous.
Mm-hmm.
He was, like a freshly anointed Survivor historian at this point in time. Mike Bloom is at the beginning of an ongoing meteoric rise himself.
Yes.
So for Mike he
was the Kelly Wentworth of the moment.
Exactly. For him to show up on the Kelly Wentworth podcast, on the Kelly Wentworth boot episode when Kelly Wentworth was a nothing. And little Mike Bloom is like, hey, I don't know what to say. I'm nervous. And now look at him. Freaking star.
Mm-hmm.
My star. Love that guy.
Yeah. All right.
Love that man.
Yes. All right. Also, Coach was kind of pro John Rocker, according to Josh Green. So there
Shocked.
You go. Mm-hmm.
Shocked. John Chucker.
Yeah. All right. So next week, we'll talk about the final pre-merge episode of Survivor San Juan Del Sur.
In which Dale Wentworth is going to say, I have a hidden immunity idol.
He's going to try to.
And everyone's like, it's true. I've got one. I have an idol too.
Yeah. You and I, in the meantime, will head to Philadelphia for a screening of our RHAP first documentary talking about Survivor Cagayan.
Come hang out with us. I was too overwhelmed to go out to a crowd of 1,000, plus give or
Baby
take
steps.
people in New York. But Philadelphia promises to be a bit more of an intimate affair to gather together to watch the Survivor Cagayan documentary. And so this will be my first RHAP event appearance since 2019. So I'm very excited. So if you want to come hang out with me, with Rob, with all of the people who are going to be in Philly watching the Survivor Cagayan documentary, go check it out. I think that the ticket link still works. Rob has a website.com/Cagayan screening. So go to robhasawebsite.com/Cagayan screening if you want to come to the thing. And if you can't, because this is short notice, potentially for people who are like across the world and stuff, you'll be able to watch the movie in a week's time. But next week on the podcast, when Rob and I get back together, we'll have, I'm sure, lots of fun anecdotes from getting to spend some time together in Philadelphia.
Can I bring up something that involves another Survivor Second Chances, Kelly?
Of course, absolutely, yes.
Yeah. So I saw this
Miss Wigglesworth.
Kelly Wigglesworth. Yeah.
Look what they did to Kelly Wigglesworth.
Okay. So EW talks about I saw this headline today on the a TV that has like our family calendar on it, and then also shares some headlines from EW, which I was like, I had to do a double take when I saw this one that says, original Survivor contestant Kelly Wigglesworth speaks out on claims she cheated in exclusive clip.
Whoa.
Yeah. This is from Entertainment Weekly.
Yes.
That they have a clip that and I've not seen the clip.
Yeah.
An exclusive clip from the upcoming episode of Vice's Dark Side of Reality TV that Kelly Wigglesworth explained something that happened. She said that somebody threw a power bar on the ground right at my feet. She said, and Richard saw it.
Wow.
Now, I've heard urban legend of this. And then Richard Hatch says it's all a BS game, says Hatch.
Yeah.
Who walked away with $1 million.
They interviewed Joel Klug for this?
Joel Klug says, I think it was a power bar, but if you're like, where was he during all this? He was like deep at Ponderosa.
Yeah, like, is that a figure of speech?
Mm-hmm.
Joel was deep at Ponderosa. Sure was. Still is.
Yeah. But so, yeah, the Dark Side of Reality TV is going to be on Vice.
Okay. Do we have...
Kelly Wigglesworth is pushing back.
Do we have coverage plans of this?
I don't know how to watch something on Vice.
I'm sure we could get you to figure that out.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see. Certainly, any headlines we will be sure to check out. Okay. All right.
What
there
a great
you go.
time. What a great time, folks. Are we having fun yet?
Sure.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, bro's gone, but
Yeah,
we have a lot. We have a lot.
Right now, I am in a tight situation because I don't have an idol. I don't have anything. I am just lying.
I am just lying.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back next week to talk more San Juan Del Sur. Take care. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.